right. So look, you've heard a lot from Vamsi and Forrest and a bunch of our customers and partners about all the momentum we have across hardware, software, and solutions. But now let's talk about the future and how we're expanding our rack scale solutions portfolio to essentially deliver compute performance, efficiency, and density that customers need over the coming years. Today, I am super excited to give you a first look at the next big step for our AI roadmap, the Instinct MI400 series. You may hear us call it MI400 series, you may hear us call it MI450. MI400 series is really bringing together everything we've learned across silicon, software, and systems to deliver a fully integrated AI rack platform. And this guy was built from the ground up for leadership for both large-scale training and distributed inference. Let me now introduce you to our Helios AI rack. Helios is truly a game changer. For the first time, we architected every part of the rack as a unified system. That's combining our CPUs, our GPUs, our Pensando NICs, and our ROCm software all together in one platform. And it's really purpose-built for the most demanding AI workloads, from training to the largest frontier models to scaling inference across thousands of nodes. But Helios has more than just lots of compute. We also have leadership memory capacity, leadership memory bandwidth, and leadership interconnect speed. And all of that is delivered in an open OCP-compliant rack that supports both Ultra Ethernet and UA Link. And when Helios launches in 2026, we believe it'll set a new benchmark for AI at scale. So think of Helios as really a rack that functions like a single massive compute engine. It connects up to 72 GPUs with 260 terabytes per second of scale-up bandwidth. It enables 2.9 exaflops of FP4 performance. And that is a great number, but Helios goes even further. Compared to the competition, we support 50% more HBM4 memory bandwidth, and scale-out bandwidth. And these are big advantages. I mean, this is our sweet spot. We've always had this memory architecture. And what this translates in is faster training, higher inference throughput, and the ability to really handle massive models. Now, let's take a look at each of the components that make Helios possible. Starting with our next generation EPYC processor, codenamed Venice. Venice extends our leadership across every dimension that matters in the data center: more performance, better efficiency, and outstanding total cost of ownership. It's built on TSMC's 2-nanometer process and features up to 256 high-performance Zen 6 cores, and it delivers 70% more compute performance than our current generation leadership Turin CPUs. And to really keep feeding MI400 with data at full speed, even at rack scale, we've doubled both the GPU and the memory bandwidth and optimized Venice to run at higher speeds. And you heard from Forrest how important the CPUs are. Now, we just got Venice back in the labs, and it is looking fantastic. Now, at the heart of Helios, though, is the MI400 series. This is truly the most advanced accelerator we've ever built. It's really the engine for the next generation of AI, and it's designed to run trillion-plus parameter models. We deliver up to 40 petaflops of FP4 performance. We have 432 gigabytes of HBM4, and supports 300 gigabytes per second of scale-out bandwidth to connect across racks and clusters. And now, as you've also heard from Forrest, we need a high-performance networking fabric to connect all of that. And that's why we're also introducing Vulcano, our next-generation scale-out AI NIC. Vulcano is fully UEC 1.0 compliant. It supports PCIe and UAL interfaces to connect directly both CPUs and GPUs. And it delivers 800 gigabits per second of line rate throughput to scale for the largest systems. Now, with Helios, every GPU in the rack is connected through the high-speed, low-latency UA link tunneled over standard Ethernet. Now, when you look at our AI roadmaps, every generation is always special, but Helios is truly a giant step forward. With MI355, we're taking a big step forward. You've heard some of that this morning. We're delivering 3x more performance across a broad range of workloads, extremely competitive versus the state of the art today. And with Helios, we're bending that curve further. The MI400 series is expected to deliver up to 10x more performance for the most advanced frontier models, making MI400 the highest performing accelerator. I think 10x is a good number. Is it a good number? Look, if I sound excited, that's because I am excited. And as you might expect, customer excitement for the MI400 series and Helios is really high. Like, these are the types of programs you don't just start today. I mean, we have been working with customers for the past few years to really, just jump ahead of the curve and see what our customers really need. One of those customers who has been a very, very early design partner, who has given us significant feedback on the requirements for next generation training and inference, is OpenAI. And we have a very special guest today. I am so happy to say that this person is a great friend, someone who is really an icon in AI. To hear more about our work, please welcome OpenAI founder and CEO Sam Altman to the stage. Can I call you an AI icon?
I don't think so, but that's okay.
You
know what? It's your show. You do whatever you want.
Sam, look, we are truly so happy and excited to be your partner. OpenAI has truly been at the center of the universe. Everyone listens to what Sam Altman has to say when it comes to Gen AI, and I think
they just listen to ChatGPT at this point.
Actually, I listen to ChatGPT.
We'll take it.
Some of the numbers I've seen, like over 500 million weekly active users, just amazing growth. Can you just give us a little bit of a landscape? Where are we today? What's the state of play? What are you seeing? What's most exciting right now?
It's definitely been, for us and many other people, just an explosion of usage over the last year. I think the models have gotten good enough that people have been able to build really great products, text, images, voice, all kinds of reasoning capabilities. We've seen extremely quick adoption in the enterprise now. Coding's been one area people talk a lot about. But I think what we're hearing again and again in all these different ways is that these tools have gone from things that were fun and curious to truly useful.
Doing real work.
People's personal lives. And the fact that you can now ask a system like Codex to go off and do some work for you autonomously over minutes or hours, it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, I think the key point that you said is really enterprises are seeing lots and lots of value. I think the other thing that's been amazing is, man, I mean, the rate and pace of what you guys are putting out, it seems like every week you have a new model. Workloads are just changing so fast. What are you seeing? How are things changing? And most importantly for us, how are you seeing compute demands changing?
I mean, tons have changed all the time, but one of the biggest differences has been we've moved to these reasoning models. So we have these very long rollouts where a model will go off and think about a problem and come back with a better answer, or in some cases a whole PR ready to go. But this has really put pressure on model efficiency and long context rollouts. We need tons of compute, tons of memory, tons of CPUs as well.
I've seen that actually.
And our infrastructure ramp over the last year and what we're looking at over the next year has just been a crazy, crazy thing to watch.
Is there ever enough GPUs?
I mean, theoretically, at some point, you can see that a significant fraction of the power on Earth should be spent running AI compute, and maybe we're going to get there.
Yes, no, that's definitely true. Look, we have been honored. Really, we've really appreciated the partnership and collaboration between OpenAI and AMD over the last few years. Working together in Azure, working on some of your research stuff, and particularly the deep design on MI450. I think you guys were really early in just some of the important insights. Can you just tell us a little bit about how that's evolved and
Yeah.
sort of like how we can do more for you.
It's been amazing working with you all, obviously, and we're already running some work on the 300X, but the MI450 series, I think, and the work we've been able to do there is you've worked on that over the last couple of years, and we're very grateful for you listening to our input. Hopefully, we'll be a good representative for what the industry as a whole needs. But we are extremely excited for the MI450. The memory architecture is great for inference. I believe it can be an incredible option for training as well. And when you first started telling me what you were thinking about for the specs, I was like, there's no way. That just sounds totally crazy. That's too big. But it's really been so exciting to see you all get close to delivery on this. And I think it's going to be an amazing thing.
Well, first of all, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that very much. One of the things that really sticks in my mind is when we sat down with your engineers, they were like, whatever you do, just give us lots and lots of flexibility because things change so much. And really that framework of working together has been phenomenal. Now, Sam, look, this is a moment here where we have lots of folks in AI wanting to know, what's next. So help us with big picture. Like, what do you see in the future? Perspective on where things go. How did the workloads evolve? What happens with quote unquote AGI, and really, how do we as AMD and we as the computing industry kind of help enable all of that for you?
At the beginning of the 2020s, we didn't kind of have AI as we think of it today yet. We had a bunch of other systems, but that was still, the pre-GPT-3 era, just by a little bit. And now as we sit at the sort of like halfway mark through the decade, it's really been remarkable progress from, not even a GPT-3 model to GPT 4.5 and 03, these models that really feel smart and helpful and can give these sort of, real utility experiences where people would look at this if they could go back in time and say that feels almost impossible. Like if you went back to 2020, said by halfway through the decade, we're going to be at this system that you can talk to and it's really smart. It's like a smart person that can do work for you. I think we're going to maintain the same rate of progress, rate of improvement in these models for the second half of the decade as we did for the first. I wasn't so sure about that a couple of years ago. There were new research things to figure out, but now it looks like we'll be able to deliver on that. And so if you think forward to 2030 and the systems that we can have, these systems will be capable of remarkable new stuff. Novel scientific discovery, running extremely complex functions throughout society, and things that we just couldn't even imagine as possible before. To get there, to be able to deliver on this, it's really going to take, these are huge systems now, very complex engineering projects, very complex research. And to keep on this curve of scaling, we've got to work together across research, engineering, hardware, how we're going to deliver these systems and products. And this has gotten quite complex. But if we can do on that, if we can deliver on that, if we can drive this collaboration across the whole industry, we will keep this curve going. And so we're tremendously excited about the work that we're doing with AMD and what you all are going to deliver to, we'll keep delivering great models.
Sam, I can say that we really, really appreciate the work with OpenAI. You guys push us hard, but at the end of the day, we all want to deliver that vision. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.
And thank you for the partnership too.
Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so as you can tell, we are super excited about what MI400 brings to the market. There are lots of active customer engagements already. This is about really co-optimizing together, but it really doesn't stop there. We're already deep into development of our 2027 rack that will push the envelope even further on performance, efficiency, and scalability with our next generation Verano CPUs and MI500 GPUs. So lots and lots of stuff to come from AMD. Now, that brings us to the close. It's truly been an amazing day. We've covered a lot, from the launch of MI350 series to our next generation MI400, to the Helios rack scale solutions, to all of the incredible momentum that we have building our open software and hardware ecosystems. And I really want to say a big thank you to all of our partners who joined us today on stage. There are a number of partners who have helped us with putting together this event. There are a number of breakout sessions I hope you guys get to later on in the day. And hopefully, what you've gotten from today is that we're moving faster than ever before to deliver the best AI solutions for the market. But let me just end with a few personal thoughts. When I think about this past year, it's really redefined what progress in AI looks like. It's really moved at a pace unlike anything that we have seen in modern computing, frankly, anything that we've seen in our careers, and frankly, anything that we've seen in our lifetime. We in this community, I call this community the AI ecosystem, we're really at the center of everything that matters. And isn't that just an incredibly phenomenal place for us to be? I think of it as a journey. I've always said, this would be a journey, and I'm incredibly proud of how far we've come. But more than that, I'm actually really proud of how we're bringing together the technology, the talent, and the partners needed to make AI more powerful, more accessible, and more useful for everyone. The future of AI is not going to be built by any one company or in a closed ecosystem. It's going to be shaped by open collaboration across the industry. It's going to be shaped because everyone is bringing their best ideas, and it's going to be shaped because we're innovating together. So on behalf of all of us at AMD, we look forward to changing the world with you together. Thank you for joining us today.